you don't actually need any yoga equipment because you have your body in the floor and you can use a wall and a chair if you wish. But if you're new to yoga or are tight in certain areas of your body, or to make your yoga practice more comfortable, then certain yoga props or equipment can be really helpful. A yoga mat. This is a standard yoga mat, 4.5mm thick. It's a sticky or a non-slip mat, which I highly recommend if you're looking to purchase one. You can get thicker mats, and if you want added comfort, then they can be very useful. Another useful tool is a yoga strap. If you have tight hamstrings or for certain hip opening poses, as well as some restorative poses, a yoga strap can be helpful. I recommend the wider straps with the oblong metal buckles as opposed to the narrower straps with the plastic buckles. You get a much better grip and hold with the metal buckles, I find. A yoga brick. This is made of cork. You can get them made of wood or foam. A yoga brick can be handy for certain balancing poses like half moon pose, to lift the floor up to you if you can't quite reach with your hand. You can sit on this as well to lift you up a little higher if you have very tight hips when you're sitting cross-legged. And it can also be used as a support in other poses. A foam block, oblong shape, can also be very helpful in a number of poses, but once more it can be used for sitting on to lift you up if you do have tight hips, and one I would recommend as the minimum. So these 4 pieces of equipment, the mat, the brick, the block and the strap, would be the minimum that I would recommend. However, to make your practice a little bit more comfortable, and particularly if you're going to be practicing more restorative poses, which I highly recommend, then another brick could be handy for you. 3 more foam blocks would be recommended as well, particularly to support the legs when you're in restorative poses. 1 eye pillow, or I prefer 3, 1 for the eyes and 2 for the hands when you are lying down, because a little bit of weight can be really helpful to just ground the hands, and I find that it helps me feel more relaxed in restorative poses with these eye pillows, or a little bit of weight, which can be a bag of rice in a cover if you wish, of course. These eye pillows, incidentally, can be placed on a radiator to add a little bit of heat if you want to place that over your eyes if you have tired eyes, or in the summer putting an eye pillow in the fridge or in the freezer can be really cooling for the forehead as well. A blanket, 1 as a minimum, but if you can get 2, 3 or 4, then they can be very helpful for adding a layer of comfort between you and the floor on top of your yoga mat. Blankets can be used to support underneath the head, as well as to cover yourself in relaxation poses. I prefer the cotton blankets, but you can purchase the more fluffy ones, the nylon ones, which if you're just placing them over you can be very helpful. But if you're using blankets as supports for restorative poses where you're taking your legs onto a chair or up the wall, then I would recommend the cotton blankets as opposed to the nylon or the fluffy ones, which tend to slip and are not as secure. And then the final piece of equipment is a yoga bolster. This is a standard size, and it takes a good few years for them to mould into the perfect shape I found. But it's a wonderful tool for placing underneath your knees when you're lying down. It can add a little bit of extra comfort, and also if you have a niggly lower back or you have a injury in your lower back and lying with your legs out straight adds discomfort, or it just doesn't feel as comfortable as it could do, then bending up your knees and laying your legs over a bolster can be really helpful. Also, in some restorative poses, you lie over the bolster, as I'll be demonstrating in future videos. And that is all the equipment that I recommend for now.